Hi guys! I wanted to do a video about books because I love books, and Candy Something did this tag, the 20th century tag, which looked really fun, so I'm gonna do that because, you know, fun times. So basically what you do is you pick a book from your books for each decade of the 20th century, and we have a slightly embarrassing start because I don't actually have any books from the 1900s, like before it got to 10. Awkward, not the best way to start, but I have all the others, so we'll just pretend that that decade didn't happen. It didn't, according to my bookshelves anyway, so we'll just moving right along. 1910s, The Secret Garden by Hodgson Burnett. I didn't read this for ages, even though I adore the film. I really like the way that they put all this emphasis on fattening her up because she's such a skinny little brat when she first comes to, what's it called? The mansion, the place where she goes. You know, the place. Okay, 1920s it would go to? Yes. The Great Gatsby. Oh yeah. I really enjoy reading books for my courses at school and at university and stuff. I really like analysing it because it opens up so many different things that I don't notice on my own. So we did The Great Gatsby for A-levels, I think. And this was a second-hand copy that I got from a guy in the year above who had already done it. So it had the bonus of his notes, and then I wrote my notes on top of it, so it's very annotated. But that's okay with school books, I feel, you know? It's a good thing. I still haven't seen the movie. I should really get around to doing that. I've kind of cheated. For the 30s and 40s, I've got Speak Memory by Vladimir Nabokov. Because he published each chapter kind of on its own before he put them all together, I think, and it started in the 30s and continued through the 40s, so I'm just gonna cheat and say that, you know, this counts for both. It totally counts. Shh, it counts. Speak Memory is gorgeous. It inspired one of the pieces that I wrote for my submission in first year about my grandparents' gardens, and it's like a chapter for each kind of memory, a period in his life. I would definitely recommend it. The use of language is just so good. The 50s, My Side of the Mountain by Jean George. This is one of the books that my granny gave to me, and it's about this kid in New York who basically gets sick of city life and he leaves. He fucks off. He fucks off to the Catskill Mountains or something, and he just lives on his own, up in the mountains. It's got all this like survival stuff, like he makes pancakes from ground up acorns, and he captures this baby falcon and trains it to hunt for him, and it's, you know, it's great. It's just this, I don't know how old he is in this, like 11 or something, 12, not very old, you know? He's just a kid and he just goes out there and just learns all this stuff and he just survives. It's great. For this would be the 60s, yeah, the 60s, The Outsiders, one of my all-time favourite books by S.E. Hinton. And when I did my book club last year, I think it was, this was one of the first books that I read for the book club because, oh, it's so good. Cannot recommend it enough. So much awesome. For the 70s, I've got another memoir. It's called The Woman Warrior by Maxine Kingston, and this is another book that I had to read for one of my modules last year. And it's really good. It's not very autobiographical in the sense that you might be thinking, like, you know, this is what happened to me, this is what happened to me, this is what happened to me. It's very strange, it's very story-like. You're not really sure what's real and what's not, because she says at the beginning her mum used to tell them stories as they were falling asleep, and like stories of what happened to her as a kid, but also fairy tales and folk tales, and it would all kind of get mixed up. So like the whole second chapter, I think, of this is just one massive story about this girl who lives in a village, and she goes up to the mountains and she becomes this incredibly powerful woman warrior, and she comes down and she takes vengeance for the wrongs that have been done against her family, and she basically changes the whole country. She leads an army to the emperor and she deposes him and puts someone else in his place, and then comes home and kind of, you know, stops being a warrior. She chills out for a bit, but it's really amazing. I think everyone should read it. For the 80s, Mort by Terry Pratchett. I probably don't talk about Terry Pratchett enough and about how much I love him, but Mort was one of the first books that I read of his that I genuinely enjoyed, because I tried to start with The Colour of Magic, and I don't know, I must have been pretty young at the time, and I didn't get it. Quite frankly, I didn't understand it, but I remember being absolutely delighted that the word bugger was in there. And because, you know, the books that I was reading at the time were very, you know, child-friendly without any swearing, so I was just, oh, they swear? That's allowed? started properly reading Discworld, I think, with Mort or with Reaper Man, because I just loved the idea of death being this kind of okay skeleton with a massive white horse called Binky. Brilliant. I love the Discworld. I love it so much. For the 90s, I kind of thought about saying Harry Potter like Candy Something did, but that kind of seemed too obvious. So just kind of take it for granted that Harry Potter, yes, one of the biggest books series of all time ever, and always hold a special place in my heart. But for the sake of diversity, I'm going to go with something different, which is this. This is, what is it? Yeah. Daughter of the Empire by Raymond E. Feist and Janny Wurts. Feist is kind of a big name in high fantasy. He's written a shit ton of books. I think Janny Wurts has as well. Joanna, who used to basically childmind us, she picked up the first two in this series and gave them to me, and I read the first two over and over and over before I eventually read the third, which kind of blew my mind. Hang on, I'll get them both down because they're so pretty. They're amazing. The world building is just stunning, and the fucking cover art. Oh my god, how fucking pretty are these books? Gorgeous. I love them. And Mara of the Akama, who is, you know, the main character, and her family is the Akama. Oh, it would take too long to explain how everything works because it's a completely different universe and everything, but it's glorious. I love it so much. I love these books with all my heart. So yeah, that was the 20th century book tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll list all the books that I mentioned in the below bar thing. See you later, guys.